That's kind of hot there as it is. Just gonna scrape just the black kind of out of it. That's just the inner. Yeah, so I got 2 lobsters here. You see them. I got 2 of them. I got one last night and one this morning. And I got a brown crab as well, thrown in with the mix. Well, first of all, I'll wash just there's sand and grit on them. So here's what we got. So if a fish comes from fresh water, wash with fresh water. But if a fish comes from seawater, it's always best to wash with salt water. So it's probably best to have these clean before going in the cooler. But it was about 3 o'clock last night when I finished, or when I started my dive. So
What time we finished?
it was 6. What you can do is to dispatch a lobster. What you can do, so you can see he's starting to move slowly. That's just from kind of after heating up. He's been out about 10 minutes out of the cooler. So just to dispatch him, you can put the knife kind of in the middle of the carapace and you just push down and you drag the knife to the front. Now kind of when you do this, the lobster split open and the juices and stuff of the lobster. So I like to keep them on ice and put them in without kind of breaking them apart. So just measure, when you're measuring the carapace, you know, he's well within the legal limits, but you know, you're measuring, that's what you call the carapace, that's the tail part of a lobster.
Right.
I don't remember any other parts. And females, you watch out for the tails as well. You'll see they'll have a bed of eggs. They'll have a bed of eggs underneath their tails, and you'll see females will have a V-notch. So when fishers catch them, breeding females, they'll actually clip their tail, so it'll be a V-notch. So just a good, anything with a notch gone out of the tail, it's a good sign just to leave it. So like lobsters you catch with your hand anyway. All of these that I've caught is just the old one hand here, one hand, but you should see that on the video anyway.
Why is there only one claw?
So it could be from anything. It could be someone else was fishing and grabbed it, and they will shed. You know, they can lose. Could have. I'm just guessing, but you know, it could. It just broke off, but they'll regenerate. Claws will regenerate, yeah. But you see, just on the smaller one here, you see lobsters have 2. Lobsters have 2 claws. You see they have. That's their it's their pincer claw, so that's kind of for holding stuff. And you see this is a larger claw, so this one has kind of got 1, 2, 3 or 4 points on it. So this is their crusher claw, and this is more for making like serrated cuts and for grabbing. So that's, and they will, if they get your finger, they'll give you a good nip. So I'll just kind of, so for now at the moment, I'll just kind of bring a pot to boil. So just throw a bit of salt in. Crab will take about, they'll all take about 10 minutes. You know, they're not the biggest of shellfish, but they'll do us a meal. So what I might do is, when I'm waiting for the pot to boil, what I might do is just throw these in the freezer or even in the fridge and just kind of keep their core temperature down, just so they don't start kind of waking up. But when they kind of start heating back up, they will start moving and trashing. So just for the kind of welfare of the animal, it's just kind of keep them cool. And probably this is the part where it skips to the pot being boiled. Yeah, I think I forgot to say what we were going to make. So we're going to probably boil the lobster and make a garlic butter and then put it over the grill and just kind of grill. So kind of, it doesn't need around 10 minutes boiling, should get the meat. Then I'll probably split the tails. So there is a bit of prep work to do. You know, you can kind of start chopping garlic. Grate up a bit of Parmesan. So you're gonna, Parmesan's help just to get the crust So you're getting kind of crust over when you chop the tail. So about this much Parmesan. The chef's tax. What I might do with the crab is I might make fried rice with the crab.
Oh.
So I rang Olga and I got her to pre-boil rice. Carrots first. You're just softening up the carrots and stuff. You want to throw in carrots or they take the longest, so just throw them in with a bit of butter. Then the onion and the pepper at the same time. You can add in a bit of this. I think we also just add the onion and the pepper chopped up. The baby crying in the background is not a requirement to cook this item, it's just an optional extra we added.
He's not crying.
So what I like to do is, so we let that fry for a bit. We just get a bowl set aside the vegetables. I don't like to throw the rice in on top of the vegetables, so I just throw them to the side. So that's kind of the boil that you want. You want to go boil. It's more humane, you know, a good roll and boil. So I take these out. So you can see that they're blue before and they're turning nice orange. So colour for the crab, you know, it doesn't really, you know, you want it to turn a nice kind of, you see how it's still kind of brown on top. You want it to turn that, I can get it on the camera. You want it to turn that kind of nice, kind of reddy orange colours full way through. So we are 6 minutes left on that. I'm going to just put in a bit of light soy sauce first. So you can see how there's not much colour. It doesn't really add that kind of colour, you know, that fried rice colour. So it's great for just kind of a light, you know, a lightly coloured. Just comparison, just add in a bit of the dark soy sauce. So see the colour change. So you just kind of want to get it kind of to the one colour. So I'll just leave that out for a second. Just a small dash of oyster sauce. And then just a drop of sesame oil on it. And then that's all I'm going to add to it. So then back on the heat. So now you can smell the oyster sauce. You can smell that oyster sauce after.
Yeah. Kind of acidy, isn't it?
I don't know how. It smells like oyster sauce to me. We can just leave that for the moment. We just keep an eye. It should be 3 minutes left on that. We split the tail. Just watch your hands when the lobster is slippy. Watch them cut your hands. Oh.
Bit of struggle.
So there's your tails there. That's kind of as much meat out of the carapace. What I like to do is save these, throw that in. Just save the shell and stuff you can make, like seafood chowder. It's a good base, good for stock. Same again with this.
Or bisque, yeah?
Yeah, you can use, well, you need the seafood stock for lobster bisque. So. You need a lot more lobster though. So that came away differently, so I'll throw this. So you see just the meat there. And then separate the tail. Tail should come away. That crab is probably getting in ready now. So not too much meat in the tail, but it's the same again. We're just going to scrape just the black kind of out of it. That's just the innards and the guts. They look like bite-sized treats, but put the grill on, we'll get a bit of our butter mix and just butter, pepper and garlic. Just kind of drizzle it over. So what we'll do is we just put it in without the cheese first and just kind of let that grill into the meat. So you can see the darkness has kind of gone out of the shell. Don't know if you can see. There's a lot kind of darker on the top. You see that? Now all the juices from the lobsters and stuff you can save for your kind of fish stock, or as Olga said, for lobster bisque. Or crabs are the same as lobsters. Crabs have your small little grab and pincer, then you have your crushing claw. So I'll break off the legs. Now I'm definitely not an expert at this, so bear with me. And you just peel from the back here, that should open. Now all of this is edible. All of this is, even that brown meat is edible. Do I like to eat it? No, I'm a bit picky, maybe. I just scratch away just your bits of meat. You can add them back in. Crush your claws. This is where you're going to get the majority of the meat. Now, I did that actually wrong. But
why?
I should have broke the claw, so I should have went like this. You could crack it like that, and then that comes out, so that's not meat, but that leaves then the meat left in the claw. So this does get messy. So I'm kind of learning with you guys here as well. So then just the meat.
Ooh, you lost it.
And you're gonna work from the claw to each, down on each knuckle, you know. You just break down on each knuckle and you get the meat. Now, if you're heavy-handed like I am, you'll get a bunch of shell in with the meat. It's edible, you just pick through it, but you know, there's a better way of kind of breaking it. But lobster tails are kind of, you know, the butter's kind of melted into it and stuff, so we just sprinkle just a bit of Parmesan. See, I made that one look real professional. Then I just kind of chop the meat up. Put it into my... So like we're missing a fried egg. It's nothing. That should just be it. Just mix it in through. You have this, which goes in the fridge. You'll see, keep all your juices in that. The best part about all this is all the washing off. I give it a quick taste. It's nice. Nice. Could be done a bit better, but I'm missing the egg as well. But last bit of butter, you can just take it and just wet them up a small bit. Make it extra buttery.
Yum yum.
Bon appetit.